Good morning, everybody. I figure we'd take a break from politics today. It's freezing out. We snowed last night. Still looks like it's snowing a little bit. So I decided let's talk about the climate and climate change and the boogeyman. Notice how the left, they believe in science, but only the science that points to their narrative, what they want. Any science that goes against them isn't science. Okay. If you ask real climate scientists, not the 99.7%, that was a bullshit number from a bullshit study, but that's for another video. If you ask an actual climate scientist, what's better for the planet if we were to go up 2 degrees or if we were to go down 2 degrees? Now, I forget if it's Celsius or Fahrenheit. If it's Fahrenheit, it's 2 degrees. If it's Celsius, it's, 1.8? So 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit if it's 2 degrees Celsius. So let's say if it goes up 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit, let's cut it in the middle. What would be better for the planet? If the temperature would go up 2.5 degrees, or if it goes down 2.5 degrees? And unanimously, all climate scientists say it's better if the planet gets 2 degrees warmer. And you say to yourself, okay, well, that makes no sense because that goes against the climate change people. So then you got to ask, what's the obvious question after that? Why? Why is it better for the planet? And they'll tell you, well, if the planet's 2 degrees warmer, the imaginary line that goes around the planet in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, where south, if you're talking about the northern hemisphere, south of that line is farmable land. North of that line is not farmable land because it's cold. Well, if the planet were to go up 2 degrees, that line goes up in the north and goes down in the south, meaning more farmable land. Well, that's it? Is that the only reason? No. Also, if the planet was warmer, the oceans and the lakes and everything, the more moisture would go into the air. And if more moisture goes into the air, more rainfall. More rainfall, less drought. So those are the pluses of the planet getting 2 degrees warmer. 2 degrees colder would be the exact opposite. You'd have less farming land because now that line in the northern hemisphere, the cannot farm above the line, that line goes south. Meaning Canada's already screwed with their line. Why do you think Canada only has 33 million people to our 330 million people? What, they don't like to fuck up there? It's cold up there. That's all they do is fuck. But they can't feed themselves because they can't farm. All right. We're getting on a tangent here. These people are also the people that are against fossil fuel. So then you ask them, well, would we be better off if there was no fossil fuel at all? Oh, yeah, if there was none at all. Ever? Oh, yeah. Really? You wouldn't be here if there was no fossil fuel. The population of the planet, for the most part, stayed steady at about 500 million. That's 500 million. That's 16 times less than what we have now. But for hundreds of years, that line stayed pretty straight. I mean, you got plagues where you have the dips, but it always goes to about 500 million. Until the 1800s, right about the time we discover oil in the ground. And the Industrial Revolution. And now all of a sudden, to farm 1,000 acres, you don't need friggin' 100 horses pulling plows and stuff. You got one machine. One machine can do the job of, and now you can produce more food. You can't have 8 billion people on the planet if you can't produce, if you could only produce food to feed 500 million. I mean, that's just simple math. Well, what else? Well, you wouldn't have all the stuff that you live in comfort with now. You wouldn't have air conditioning, hospitals. We would be living right now as if it were the 1700s. We wouldn't even be living as if it was the 1800s. We'd be living like it was the 1700s if we never discovered oil. If all we had to get oil was whale oil. Whales would be extinct right now. It's extinct. And we wouldn't have jack shit. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to go to the local blacksmith while he's fucking banging out horseshoes or making a sword or something and go, excuse me, Mr. Blacksmith, I need you to fucking bang me out an x-ray machine? I don't think he's going to do that. And besides, where the fuck are you getting the electricity? Where are you getting the electricity from to run the x-ray machine? So, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And Democrats, they're feeling that right about now with this Momo in the White House. It was fun talking about something other than politics. I hope some of the shit I said makes sense. Some of it, I don't understand people. I don't. Oh well. But looking outside, knowing I have to drive in this, come on, global warming. Woohoo, I'm rooting for you. Bye.